Hi, and welcome to another narrative presented by yours truly, Cryptids Roost. If you enjoy this and the other stories, please be so kind as to hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe. This will help with the YouTube's algorithm and will promote the channel more. Now, even though I'm not yet monetized by YouTube, I have created some awesome merch for you guys. So please be so kind as to visit www.redbubble.com/people/cryptids-roost and grab yourself a t-shirt, mug, wall clock, duvet cover, or whatever else grabs your fancy. The link will be in the description. Also, if you would like an honourable mention, take a snapshot of yourself along with your merch and I'll feature it in one of the videos. Oh, and thank you all for helping us reach the first milestone of 100 subscribers. The next milestone is 500. I'm sure we can do it. Oh, and don't forget to leave a comment on the videos. Maybe tell us how you would handle the upcoming situations. So grab your coffee, sit back and enjoy the show. A Guide from Monster Hunter, Part 3. This brilliant series is written by Reddit user SoLonely200. Ulysses here. Welcome to Chapter 3 of my little guidebook to life's ugliest truth. There are monsters in the world. Worst of all is what we call man. But I'm not here to talk about human monsters, as I'm sure you've already figured out. I won't lie to you, I don't really know what to put in this section. We both know why you're here, so why put it off anymore? Goatmen. This ugly bastard and his kin can be found in Maryland, and yes, there is more than one. They're smarter than most monsters I've dealt with. They're capable of using axes. I have a pretty nasty scar from my run-in with the Goatman of Beltsville. I took his head after chopping it off, and while I didn't see any more, I've heard of more sightings since I killed the fucker, so I can only assume there's A, a copycat, or B, more goat people. Either way, they're stronger than any man, but a simple decapitation seems to do the trick. Oh, and don't kick them in the groin. They don't like that. In fact, let me go off course for a second. I figured that you all enjoyed my little story about my vampire encounter, that you'd like to hear more of my work. So from now on, I'll be including a story about my experiences with each entry in this here guide. Sound good? Okay, here's my story about the time I hunted the Goatman of Maryland. I was still new to the whole killing monsters thing, and to be honest, I expected this Goatman to be something like a Scooby-Doo villain. I mean, half a man, half goat, that's just stupid right there. When I got to Beltsville, I asked the locals about the Goatman. Most of them just passed it off as a ghost story, but some swore it was true. It was said to hunt in the woods near Fletchertown Road. I went out to the woods, and thanks to me working for the government, closed it down. Then I set up tracks all along the road, set up a stand in a nearby tree. I must have been up there for a few hours, because I was woke up by the sound of a bear trap snapping shut, then a roar like a pissed off gorilla. I grabbed my gun and went to the scene, and sure enough, there he was, the Goatman. He looked an awful lot like Bigfoot. He was about 7 feet tall and covered in hair. He had the head of a goat, but with long sharp teeth. With no effort, it seemed, he pulled himself free. He turned at me and snarled. He raised his axe and swung it. I ducked just in time as it sunk into a tree with a loud thwack. I unloaded a clip into him, but I reckon that just pissed him off, because he swatted me like a fly. He grabbed his axe from the tree and came at me again. I rolled out of the way as the head of the weapon landed near mine. Using my man instincts, I kicked him right in the jewels. He showed pain, but looked pissed. He stumbled back a bit, looking like a ram ready to charge. He did just that, and I shot him in the back of the head. I heard the large wood-cutting axe drop to the ground, and I dove for it. Grabbing it, it was way heavier than any axe I'd ever used. Wouldn't have stopped me though. I swung it and I heard a thud. Two actually. As the goatman's head fell into my lap, I breathed a sigh of relief. Guessed it wasn't a hoax after all. I threw the ugly bastard's head in the back of my truck and radio in for pickup of the body. It's currently stuffed on my wall, in case any of y'all was wondering. Anyway, on to the next ugly. Sirens. Now admittedly, I've only ever encountered a few of these ladies. They aren't just sea creatures either. They are more like a stereotypical vampire. They lure men in before showing what they really are and dragging them to the deep. Underneath the beautiful exterior is one ugly motherfucker. Basically, she has all the teeth of an anglerfish and the face of one too. However, just like with the goatman, a simple decapitation will kill them. My first time seeing one of them was down in Louisiana. I was in New Orleans investigating a bunch of dead bodies washing up on the beach. They all had chunks bitten out of them. First I chopped it up to sharks or maybe even a gator, but the bite marks were too spread out for either. Too clean too. Did some digging, found out all the victims loved them some women of the night, if you know what I mean. Started investigating every brothel and whorehouse in the Big Easy. I pinned the siren down to a specific one, owned by a Madame de Sade. Only problem is this wasn't just a brothel, and there wasn't one siren. It was a siren den. They'd lure these poor bastards in. Their brothel was near the water, so it was a perfect honey trap. Yes, I'm looking for some fun, if you know what I mean, I said to the pretty young receptionist. She winked and said, "Sure thing, honey." She led me to the back, and I was hit with a wave of perfume. I was greeted by a brunette with green eyes. "Maddie here will take care of you." It was as if I was being pulled into the room that the smell became clearer. It wasn't perfume, it was sea salt. She smiled at me and pulled me close. "You're so cute, I could just eat you up," she whispered in my ear. She then tried to surprise me and bite me up my neck with those huge teeth. I pushed her away, gun to her chin. "Nice try, sweetheart," and pulled the trigger. Just then the smell of dead people, dead fish and seawater all at once filled the room. I damn near puked. The others kicked in the door. "Damn, you ladies were a whole lot prettier a few minutes ago," I said, with venom in my voice filling the air. "Dinner time, girls," who I could only guess was the receptionist, who screeched out that ugly mug of hers. "Eat this, you ugly bitches," I said, pulling a sawed-off shotgun strapped to my thigh out of its holster. I blew the first who came at me across the room with a shot. I punched the next and used the butt of the gun to knock out a third. The last two looked at each other. One turned to me saying with a voice like broken glass and sandpaper, "You're not supposed to fight back. Why aren't our voices working?" I pulled out an earplug. "Gotta love 'em," I said, smirking as I reloaded the gun. I let loose two more shots, splattering their heads on the wall behind them. Looking at the rest, who were all still breathing, with the exception of the first one I killed, I sighed, pulled out my hunting knife. I really hate to have to dull this blade. I got to work sawing off their heads, knocking them back out if they woke up, and before you ask, I ran out of bullets. Thought there'd be only one siren, not 6. I'll be the smart ass here, and I'd appreciate if you'd let me do my thing. I would include some more monsters, but I felt like I should tell you folks about this. The devil came to me yesterday. It went something like this. "Hello, Ulysses," a smooth voice said as I drank at a bar. I turned and saw a beautiful woman in a blood-red dress. Her left hand had a burn scar and a snake tattoo wrapped itself up her left forearm. I noticed the thing seemed to move as she sat beside me. "What do you want, Nicole?" I said, using the name the devil used as a female, playing on his Old Nick name. At least that's my guess. She ordered a Bloody Mary and gave me a smile. I would say it could send a chill down the spine of the devil himself, but, well, it is the devil. Oh, come on, I just want to talk, I snorted in response. Don't you have a baby to eat or something? I took a sip of my whiskey. Don't be cruel. We both know that's not my style, Ulysses. Besides, Dad would never allow it, she said, pointing to the ceiling. I noticed her face was ever shifting and her eyes were as black as night. What do you want? I asked again, getting impatient. Fine. I'm here to tell you to stop what you're doing. I turned to her and said, and why the hell would I do that? Oh, you mortals, you're so naive. It's cute. Do you really think the people you work for will let you just leave when you're done? I know a thing or two about betrayal. She grabbed my hand and placed it on her back. I felt the scars on her back. I would have pulled away, but she was inhumanly strong. I like you, Ulysses. You're the only person who gets me. I'm just trying to help you is all. Do you really think you're working for the government? No. Your bosses are a lot older than that. She stirred her drink with her finger, causing it to slightly ignite. Thanks, Beazle bitch, but I don't need your help. She sighed and said, Fine. Standing up, she walked towards the exit. I smelled fire as she left out the door. I paid my tab and stood up. How'd she know I was thinking about leaving this job behind? And what if she was right? I mean, the government was going through all the trouble to cover these things up. Why would they ever let me walk away? This morning, when I woke up, there was a number burned into my arm. It didn't hurt, but it was there. A phone number. I knew this was the work of the devil. And why were they trying to help me? What was the bitch up to? Doesn't matter. Sorry I didn't have as much to tell you about monsters. I've had a lot to think about. There is a zombie case the next town over, so I'll probably let you guys know how that goes. Oh, and one more thing. I found a letter in my glove box. Don't listen to Satan. We're, and more specifically, I am who you listen to, and you do well not to deal with the devil. L. I'll keep you all updated on this, and I have more tips to keep you alive. Until then though, Ulysses out. Wow, what an epic episode. If you enjoyed listening to this narrative, be sure to pop over to the author's Reddit profile, SoLonely200, and drop them a line or even give them a glowing review. The link to their Reddit profile will be below in the description. Thank you for listening, and if you enjoyed my narration, then please feel free to like and share the video, leave a comment below, maybe tell us how you would handle these situations, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button and tap the notification bell and then select all. That way you'll receive all notifications each time I upload a new video. Even though I am not yet monetized by YouTube, I have created some awesome merch for you guys. So please be just so kind as to visit www.redbubble.com/people/cryptids-roost and grab yourself a t-shirt, mug, wall clock, or even a duvet cover, or whatever else grabs your fancy. The link is in the description. If you would like to have an honourable mention, take a snapshot of yourself with your item and I'll feature it in one of the videos. Have you had a cryptid sighting, paranormal or supernatural encounter, or even had a creepy or terrifying situation you would like to share? Or have you written a CreepyPasta story you would like me to narrate for you? You can submit your stories to cryptidsroost@gmail.com, and if you wish to remain anonymous, that's fine with me. Now, I also have a Twitter, Reddit, Discord, and a Facebook group. And if you would like to support this channel and help make it grow, my PayPal is paypal.me/Cryptids Roost. Again, that will also be below. And don't forget, where fear is, happiness is not.